I am Jason. I'm the adult child of hippies. I'm not sure you can tell. My parents were full-on encounter group macrame mood ring hippies. Big hippies, my parents. My parents grew and sold their own weed, and they were okay with taking stolen merchandise for it. The house I grew up in had 1 TV and 9 cable boxes. And the first time I ever saw a picture of Jesus, I thought he was the Zigzag Man. And this is pretty much the result you get. Right here. I am what happens when you're raised by 2 people who made an informed decision to buy a waterbed. I look like a wizard that you would summon if you needed help hot wiring a car. I'm a 44-year-old man that owns throwing stars. And I once went to a white trash theme party where my costume was just a t-shirt I already owned. Like if I made myself in the game World of Warcraft, it would just be accurate. What I'm telling you folks is I'm a dude that dudes with face tattoos think is their friend. I don't know what it is about my face, really. People seem to think it's safe to be shitty around it. I've had complete strangers come up to me and tell me about entire episodes of Sons of Anarchy. But worse than that, I'm always getting a dude looking for someone to be racist with. There's an upside to that. And that upside is I now have a new life skill, and that life skill is I can tell from 3 blocks away when a neighborhood crazy needs to enthusiastically share a racial slur with who he thinks is the local meth cooker. And I can't even stand near the door of a bar without people just handing me their ID. And I know what I look like. I understand the words I've said to women more than any other are, I'm sorry, I'm not following you, I live this way too. The other day I had to loiter outside of a Wendy's for 10 minutes just so I didn't follow a woman inside too quickly. I believe I get the benefit of the doubt on that one. I'm a big guy with a beard, tattoos, and long hair. 1,000 years ago, that meant I owned a sword. 2016, being a big guy with long hair, a beard, and tattoos means I own more than 1 Motley Crue record. Sometimes I forget about how frightening I look. Once I was coming home drunk at 4 o'clock in the morning, because that's usually what you're doing at 4 o'clock in the morning. I stopped at a corner, I turned across. I looked and I saw a guy mean mugging me. And I said, holy shit, this guy's gonna rob me. What do we do? And I remembered, oh, you create a diversion, and then you run away. So I reached into my pocket, I threw all my money at him. I said, here's all my money, please don't rob me. And I turned around and my mother saw that my money was still on the ground. So I walked back over and refocused my eyes and I realized I had just thrown all my money at my own reflection. It's a hard thing to have to deal with. Most of you people will never know what it's like going through life with an NPR heart inside the body of a pornographer. I'm a drinker. I like drinking. I drink a lot and I'm good at it, which means I pretty much know which bars are open at 6 a.m. and I only wake up outside sometimes. A lot of people think they drink a lot, but a lot of people never had to pregame to go to the airport. I was just going to pick someone up. You don't drink a lot unless you're a childless adult that knows what Pedialyte tastes like. But I'm not really like a cocktails at happy hour drinker. I'm shots at breakfast drinker. I have to save my bank statements in case I ever have to prove where I was to the cops. I once came home at 4 in the morning again and I drank all my beer so that my roommate wouldn't drink my beer. I'm a man of ideas. I like to drink what I call Dungeons and Dragons beers. That's any beer that has a warrior, a weapon, or a monster on the label. But I'm not exactly picky about what I drink. I once drank a beer my friend found while mowing the lawn. She said, you can drink this if you want. I don't know how old it is. And I said, well, I know how old it ain't getting. I have a problem, though. That problem is I like drinking in very dark, divey shithole bars. You know, the gross ones. Yes. But the problem is that those bars are now going away and they're being remodeled. They're becoming fancy places. You know, the kind that have 2 nouns in the name. It's usually some sort of an animal in a bullshit tree. But I'm only really interested in drinking in a bar if it's named after an obsolete tool or a job that doesn't exist anymore. Like I've had friends say to me, we can go to the Ox and Oak if you want. They have craft cocktails. And I say to them, yeah, well, the town crier lets me spit on the floor. I like the kind of place that looks like it found its furniture on the street. And when I go in, I want the people in there to look like the cast of the movie Cocoon. Just Wilford Brimley's as far as the eye can see. And I want there to be a drink on the menu named after a dead dude the bartender knew. That's where I like to drink. And I've noticed now there are also new bars opening that are pretending to be speakeasies from the 1920s, where you need to know a secret password or go through a secret door to get your drink. And I'm not with that. First of all, I think we need to repurpose that word or bring it back. A speakeasy was not a kitschy environment where tech workers could crawl behind a repurposed bookshelf in order to pay too much money for an old-fashioned. A speakeasy was a hellhole of a basement where poor people went to drink antifreeze out of a bathtub. If you leave a bar and you're not limping, it was not a speakeasy. However, that got me thinking, and I started thinking that now in Washington State that we've legalized marijuana, I think what they should do is they should open up pawn shops that recreate the experience of buying weed in a sketchy situation. You know what I mean? An all-immersive experience that begins with you taking a bus to a neighborhood where cars are on fire. And then you press a buzzer, and a girl with dreadlocks and bare feet answers. And she says, hi, I'm Sapphire. What brings you here today? And you tell her, I'm here to buy some weed. You're like, hey, follow me right this way and have a seat on this disgusting couch. You sit next to Seth. This is Seth. You and Seth will be watching YouTube videos about 9/11 for an hour and 15 minutes. Completely forget about you. And right when you're about to leave, I'll come back and I'll say, hi, I'm Sapphire. What brings you here today? And you'll say, remember me? I'm here to buy the weed. And I'll say, oh, right, the weed. And I'll leave again. And then 10 minutes later, a piece of shit wearing a leather vest will show up. And he will accuse you of being here to try to fuck me. And then you'll have to jump out a window. I think that's what buying weed should be like. Right? I said, look, how am I supposed to relate to someone if they've never been burned in a dope deal? You know, as far as I'm concerned, if you haven't been burned in a dope deal, you're not an adult. I know people who think that having legalized marijuana is some sort of paradise. I don't think that. I think that's going to cause the loss of life skills. The fight or flight response, say goodbye. Because I see a future where everybody's floating around in Wall-E fatso chairs and doing dabs. And the origin of that is going to be the day that we no longer had to know how to jump a fence to get away from a guy with a butterfly knife and a teardrop tattoo. I think that a proper drug buying experience should involve you being afraid for your life at least 3 times. It should be like a roller coaster. It's like, I think we might die. Oh shit, we're definitely going to die. Oh, we didn't die, but we still might die. You know, I had to buy my weed. I had to get into a car with a stranger. You know the one thing your parents tell you all your life to never do? I did it a lot. I had to take a ride in a shit brown Ford LTD with a dude that looked like Charles Manson, who I met 10 minutes ago in the parking lot of a roller rink. On the off chance that there was weed at the end of this story. And I always had to take the ride too, because I was the big guy. You know how happy I was when my high school crew got a second big guy? That way I could tell my friend, sorry, Tony, this weekend is your weekend to maybe get murdered. I once had to buy weed at a house ride to enter through a window. Not even a window that opened, just one broken-ass window. And that is the night I first shook hands with a dude that had half a hand. Anybody ever do that? You ever wrap your hand around another man's hand and your fingers curl around and they come back and touch the other side of your own hand? Like, hi, I'm Jason, nice to meet you. I think something might be wrong here. Something is definitely wrong. But now you're in the longest, most awkward handshake of your life, because one, you can't break eye contact, that makes it worse. Second of all, you just spend your time sitting there going, why is he not letting go of the handshake? And then it hits you, oh shit, he can't let go of the handshake. I'm holding his whole half a hand. Which I understand, it's fine now, I'm an adult, I can handle something like that, but when you're 14, blows your world out. And also now I think party stories are going to get weird. So I fully expect to be at a party one of these days, and I'm going to turn to a dude next to me, and I'm going to say, yo man, one time I had to help push a Camaro out of a ditch so we could go buy weed from a native dude named Jer Bear. How about you? And that kid's going to go, oh, I went to a clean and well-lit place of business, and I bought Alaska Thunderfuck with my mom's Visa card. That's my time.